Hello and welcome to Philipsburg St Maarten cruise port. Got the big ship behind us, and a lot of people are already entering back onto the ship. Today we went out, a leisurely morning, went out in the afternoon, but I'm gonna show a couple of spots, a couple of tips for this cruise port, a little bit of the secret info that I've gleaned over being here about a dozen times, and stay tuned and enjoy the ride. So right away in the port, you see that you can buy a ticket for this water taxi stand right here. Round trip, adults are $7. Children 3 and under are free. So you can definitely take the water taxi over to the main beach, and that's the cost right there. The only other thing to account for is you'll have to wait for it to fill up to leave. And same when you come back, you have to wait for it to fill up and come back. Alternatively, there is a walking path, which I'm about to show you, that I will be taking today, that will also take you to downtown without going over the water. In port, there's often little bars like this as well that offer Wi-Fi if you buy a drink or buy something. So if you don't have Wi-Fi on the ship and need to get Wi-Fi to send a few emails or to download something or anything else like that, oftentimes you can just go into port, get a drink, take your time on the Wi-Fi, and enjoy it that way. Otherwise, right past the water taxi stand, we are already at taxi dispatch. If you want to take a taxi into downtown or somewhere further from downtown, maybe you have prearranged transportation or something like that, this is probably where you're going to catch it. And if you want to continue walking, you just walk right along here and it'll lead right out of the port. In just a 30-second or less walk, you'll find yourself at this little stand, which is where you'll get in and out of the port. All you have to do is show your SeaPass card on the way in. Some ports make you show ID and SeaPass. Generally just SeaPass here, but it's always a good idea to have some form of ID, especially your passport, anytime you're out in port in a foreign country. If you didn't have something planned, or you want to take a taxi, or you want to take a last-minute excursion, you're feeling wild and spontaneous, right outside of the port is where we just walked, is where there'll be a lot of people with the signs and the things that they want.
$3 each. So
yeah, it's a taxi $3 each. We're walking to film some stuff, but you know,
not too bad.
Things like that. So at this time of day, it's not as busy as if you come up in the morning. There'll be a ton of people. There'll be a ton of options and things. It'll be kind of intense for a second. We just walk right through it if you want to do that. Or, like I said, if you're feeling spontaneous and want to take one of those things up, that's where you do it. Eventually you get to this point right here if you just keep going along the trail, and you can go left and cut through there for the beach, town, restaurants, tours, excursions. I'm gonna come back that way later. So this way I'm gonna go through the more downtown part, not along the beach, and come back the beach way. And then eventually that walkway we were on will just turn right here. The Roti Hut, which is closed right now. And this very, very scenic bridge. Amsterdam Cheese and Liquor Store. And here we're starting to be at a casino and some of the street shops here in St. Maarten. All right, now we're just walking down the shopping streets of St. Maarten, a block or two off the beach. Some local places. You know, that local lasagna. Then we came out here on Old Street, St. Maarten. It's a cute little shopping and offices. And then my ride right here. And the other end of Old Street. And then from here, going through Old Street, we're just one street closer to the beach. And again, more shopping. More restaurants. Alright, we have this courthouse here, and this is a big area for taxis and tours. But now we're starting to see, you can see the ship all the way in the background. Diamonds International, classic port staple. And gonna start to walk back along the beach boardwalk area where there's beach access and shopping, and now especially more bars and restaurants. Also, you can see here, this is the water taxi, where the water taxi will dock on the other end. So you see the port down by the ship in the distance, and that $7 for adult water taxi is right there, which will bring you right here to this beach and right along this boardwalk, or we'll show you the walk back as we stroll back there on our way this afternoon. Dirty Sanchez Crew Bar. The most friendly bar. Can't make some of these names up. Let's keep it clean. So this is definitely a more relaxed part of the beach than the previous part we were kind of in. As we get closer to the ship. And as we'll see coming up here, there's also a kind of a beach volleyball, beach soccer, beach calisthenics, workout equipment area. That's very relaxing. So some of these are, if you take the water taxi, you're gonna wanna backtrack kind of a little bit anyway towards the ship and then walk back anyway. So to get to some of these beaches from the water taxi, you'll have to walk a decent amount anyway. So just something to keep in mind as you continue your little decision on how you wanna go about navigating a day in St. Maarten, how much of it's gonna be beach bar and restaurant, how much of it's gonna be beach itself, and how much of it's gonna be shopping, and or if you have an excursion or something else. So something to keep in mind. So as I was just saying, here comes the tire flipping area. Nice calisthenics area, beach volleyball, beach soccer, and a sultry singer right here. Much more relaxed at this end here, so much more my speed. But yeah, start to get back towards the marina here, and we'll show you a little shortcut through the marina. But this area of the beach is nice and relaxed, got a little bit of shade. There's also, as you can see, there's a playground behind me for kids or for hanging out. But this is a nice relaxed part of the beach. Towards the center there is much more bumping, much more shopping, much more chairs and action, and a little higher sales tactic things like that too. So be prepared to say no to people if you don't have something in mind, because sometimes things can escalate quickly if you're not sure what's going on, you know. So yeah, enjoying the day. So here's that playground I mentioned. We love St. Maarten. And towards the marina for our shortcut. Alright, we stopped for this nice little alley detour right here with a little courtyard, and there's a gelato shop up at the left. It comes right back out to the calisthenics area of the beach. And we love St. Maarten. See, that's the sports courts and the calisthenics area. Playground's right here. Now we're cutting through the marina to get back, which saves a good amount of time, and it's a nicer walk. Just walk the other way to get a little bit of variety over here. But at this time of day, it's definitely more relaxed. Breezy, fewer people. Lazy Lizard, TripAdvisor #1. Enough said. That's all you need for advertisement. TripAdvisor #1. Don't need to know the deals. Don't need to know what's on the menu. That's all it takes. So, as that lady was just saying, back to the ships this way. No bikes, but you can walk right through here. And there'll be a nice little bridge over here, over a little canal in the marina. So you can see there up on the left. And that'll bring us right back to a parking lot with a pathway around it that leads right back to that paved trail that get you right to the ship. You can also catch another water taxi back to the ship from here, but at this point, really not that much further to the ship. But of course, that's an option. Always an option to do part walk, part taxi. You can even probably catch a ride up here in this parking lot if you just decided you're finished with your walk for the day. It's too warm or you're too tired or anything like that. And then we're back at this sign and going back this way this time, back towards our ship. Continue our walk back here. And then eventually, finally, we're right back at the port here, and you just need Sea-Pass card to get back into the port area. And then eventually we end up back in the port here. So thank you so much for watching this quick tour of St. Maarten with some tips and a little bit of walking trail. If you like this video or you're enjoying the content on this channel, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and maybe share with anyone who else might find it interesting or useful or enjoyable. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.